All right, on this episode of Bowks Talking Bouts, happy to be talking to an individual with a big fight going down at XFC 44 that is happening on May the 28th, a lightweight bout between Tom O'Connor and Damonte Robinson. And welcoming Damonte on the show for the very first time. How are you doing there, man? How's the training camp going in general?
It's going good. I'm excited for this. It's been nice. The last few fights I've been either about to have or it's always been kind of last minute, so to actually have time to really prep for this fight, it's exciting.
Yeah, and I imagine you're excited to get back out there, just with it being a little while since you last competed, just January 2020 there. Like, was there any, point of frustration with not being able to compete through the pandemic, or was there just a it is what it is kind of situation, hone some skills, make do with what the situation is?
It definitely sucked not being able to participate during the pandemic and everything. It just seemed like every time something looked like it was going to open up, it didn't fully open. So, I'm excited to get back out there, and all that means is I got to train a lot longer.
Yeah, absolutely. And who are some of the main sparring partners you're working with ahead of this one? Like, are you tailoring, your sparring partners to similar, body types and stylistic tells to Tom O'Connor there?
Nothing really the same as body type. I do know a couple of my training partners. They definitely went out their way and tried to mimic his style, but we didn't focus too much on that, just because at the end of the day, no matter what you see anyone do, they're gonna modify how they fight. They're gonna get better on how they fight. And so we don't focus too much on that.
Yeah, for sure. I get what you're saying. I mean, if you invest yourself too much into one idea of what the story is going to be and it ends up being different, it can be perhaps a little disarming there. But who are some of the regular, fighters you're getting in that work with and everything? Who are people you're regularly sharpening the tools with there, man?
A lot of my main training partners, Chris Porter. He's an amateur right now. He's going to be turning pro, but he. Hello?
Yep, I'm still here.
Oh, sorry about that. Chris Porter, he is going to be turning pro here real soon, but he's one of the toughest people out this way. So he's been probably my main training partner. I've been getting a lot of work in with Dustin Moedano and Damon Morosco. So those have been my three main training partners. Unfortunately, Dustin was injured about a week or two ago in the jiu-jitsu tournament, but it didn't stop any of the steam that we had going for this training camp.
Yeah, and you mentioned just the jiu-jitsu tournaments and, a bummer that your teammate had that happen to them there, but it seems like you've really been taken to the jiu-jitsu tournaments over the years. I think a few years back at this point, you'd participated in your first jiu-jitsu tournament there, got gold in the gi and bronze in the no gi there, and it seems like some subsequent tournaments have happened since then. How important is participating in those kind of tournaments in as far as honing your skills jiu-jitsu wise in an MMA context? How much crossover and carryover is there for that?
I really enjoy doing the jiu-jitsu tournaments. A lot of people, and I really enjoy doing the gi and no gi. I know a lot of fighters, they're like, well, there's no grips inside the cage. They don't like doing gi. Me personally, I like to think that gi helps my no gi and a lot more, just because learning the different grips and whatnot, one, you take that mental challenge onto yourself, to where you're learning how to, instead of grabbing grips, you're grabbing around that area. Instead of grabbing the collar, you grab the wrist. Instead of grabbing the lapel, you cup the neck or the collar. And, a lot of people, they think of it as a disadvantage, but I don't. I think I think it helps a lot. And I really enjoy jiu-jitsu. I feel like it's going to be a big part of my game.
Yeah, I love hearing the enthusiasm for the submission grappling end of things there, but it seems like you're getting in that work over at Ground Zero MMA. I'm kind of wondering how important that particular space is, and as far as developing your game and taking it to that next level.
It's just very important. We got a handful of great guys out there. We got a handful of new guys coming in, eager to learn and eager to train and whatnot. So it's been very great training out here at Ground Zero.
Yeah, and getting to rub elbows with some, pretty important individuals. Like I'd seen a bit over a year ago there, you got to chop it up with the first UFC heavyweight champ there, just getting some advice from Mark The Hammer Coleman. How was that kind of dynamic there? Because, Mark Coleman is just, such a legend of the sport, but also such a great guy, and as far as like wanting to impart his knowledge.
It's great. Getting to talk with Mark Coleman definitely helped a lot. He's actually one of my opponents. He was one of my opponent's corners, and after that fight, he came into cage and he was very pleased with the work he saw that I put in for that fight, and he's told me time and time again that he's pleased to have me come out. I'm actually down here in his neck of the woods right now out in Columbus. I'm actually planning on reaching out to him, if not tonight, tomorrow, to see if I can either get a personal session with him or see if he has anything to teach me while I'm out this way.
Well, I hope that, pans out for you, man, and that's a cool backstory. That sounds like a very Mark Coleman thing to do. Like, even though he's cornering someone who you're facing off against, he's coming in there and just really recognizing the skill set you bring to the table. So that must have felt really cool coming from someone like that.
No, it was honestly, it was astonishing to think that he came in the cage and was just like, "Hey, you did a hell of a job. Keep your hands up. You definitely won that. I don't see how you could lose with the performance you put on." To have your opponents, not even your opponent's corner come in and say something like that, but to have a legend and someone who's done so much for the sport, that definitely meant a lot. It was definitely a big moment for me when that happened.
Yeah, and that's really cool to hear there. But you were talking earlier about how this is a fight you've actually gotten some level of notice about. I'm kind of wondering when it initially got on your radar there, because kind of a curious series of events. And as far as, you had that canceled bout with Kenny Cross for Contender Series there, and then, he's supposed to fight Tom O'Connor, and then that doesn't pan out. So, like, when did the, Tom O'Connor fight here initially get on the radar for you?
It got on the radar about a month and a half ago, I want to say. A lot of times, the fights that I've been getting prepped for, we had like you said, the one out for the Contender Series. That one didn't end up happening. There were like one or two other ones that we had got wind of that we started prepping for, but I only had a week, so it was just kind of like you start cutting all this weight in a week, and then it doesn't pan out. And that sucks, because one, that takes a toll on the body when you're cutting so much in such a short amount of time. And then, but I've always been one for, if the opportunity's there, you take it. This isn't a sport where you can be picky and choosy about who you're gonna fight and when you're gonna fight. If the UFC, they reached out and was like, "Hey, do you want to take this fight? You've got a week to make weight." You don't go, "Oh, well, it's a lot of weight." You make the weight. If you want to fight, you're going to be there. A lot of people, nothing's ever going to happen when you want it to. And when that opportunity knocks, just like with XFC, I hate that I'm being filled in for Kenny. I'm sure he's not happy about that either, but I'm not sure exactly what his circumstances is. All I heard was that he was injured somehow, and I didn't get any kind of details. So, I pray that he shows up real soon, and I'm sure our paths will definitely cross.
Yeah, for sure. Even with these, pair of canceled bouts, it seems like you guys are linked up, or at least grouped in a similar kind of way, no doubt. And yeah, I echo that sentiment of hoping he gets better and back to it sooner than later. But as far as your opponent, Tom O'Connor here, I mean, he's a guy that's collected some hardware on the Canadian circuit here, and last time out beat Jose Caceres there. I'm kind of wondering what your thoughts are on him as an opponent, not necessarily in a way where you'd give out the game plan for the fight, but just generally thoughts on his body of work so far.
He's a game opponent. I personally don't spend a ton of time researching up on my opponents. I leave that to my coaches and my teammates, just because I feel like a lot of people can get caught up in that and trying to see what the other person's going to do and trying to figure out how to beat that person. I believe in myself. I believe in the work that I've done to prep for myself. So no matter what he comes in with, I will have an answer for that, and I will overcome that adversity. But from everything that I have seen, I'm not saying I haven't watched anything. I've watched one or two fights from him, I want to say. But from everything that I've seen, he's a game opponent. And everything that I've heard from my coaches, he's going to come out there. He's not going to shy away. He's going to be in my face. And, I'm okay with that. I'm used to it. I'm used to people coming at me and trying to bring it to me, and I'm okay with that. I'm comfortable in any situation, whether I'm taken down, whether we're standing up. I'm going to be comfortable, and I'm going to be right there, ready to throw down with them.
Yeah, I think the styles match up well, but you talk about the comfort kind of dynamic there. I mean, I imagine the comfort is coming to play there with the CBD products there when you're recuperating after the hard training. Are there any other, aspects of the recuperation methodology? Like, are there some other things you do, or is it mostly the, CBD product and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah, I do. I have Pure Pulse behind me now, and that's been a huge help. With just using the CBD and using the pain stick and whatnot, my body has definitely been well recovered. Back before, I did do a good bit of cryo. Actually on the market. I mean, I'm looking for a cryo sponsor now, or something close by where I live. Before, it was like the closest cryo place was like an hour and 20 minutes out, and that was doable. But me starting my own business right now, me driving an hour and 20 out for that cryo session, and then having to drive an hour and 20 out back this way, it's not always in the system. But I've actually been told about a couple of different cryo places out, so I'll be definitely checking some of those out. That's definitely something I do want to get back to. And then me personally, I do a little bit of meditation. It's not something that I do daily. It is something that I would love to kind of get into more for myself, just to be able to do daily, even if it's only like 10, 20 minutes a day, just meditating and then focus and aware of my surroundings. So I feel like that helps with the mental for me as a person when I was doing that more often.
Yeah, well, hopefully that sponsor dynamic can pop up for you there. Hopefully I got a cryo sponsor listening to this by chance. But, in talking about listening and things like that, I'm curious if there's particular genres of music you're inclined to train to. Or are you more one of those guys in the gym where it's like, whoever grabs the aux cord, put on whatever, I'm kind of fine with it?
I mean, honestly, I do like... I'll be honest, I cannot train to country music. It's just I can train to pretty much anything, but I can't do it to country music. It doesn't have that tempo for me. I need, it doesn't really matter what I'm listening to. I personally don't put my phone on whenever we're training, just because I listen to a ton of different things. We could go to listening to a hardcore rap to Pitch Perfect, because I don't make playlists for my music, and it's a very we could be listening to J. Cole one song, and the next song A Whole New World from Aladdin comes on.
Yeah,
it's a great song. I don't care what anyone says.
Oh, no doubt.
Great song. But Yeah, no. I mean, training wise, I do like to listen to something that just has a good tempo, whether it be rock and roll, rap. I listen to some reggae when I train. It just depends on, as long as it has a good beat and you can kind of move to it and get a good groove going. I can train to it.
Yeah, for sure. Great tunes and genres all around. Definitely stuff I'm jamming to. But you've been really great with your time, man, and I want to be mindful of that. So is there anything you'd like to perhaps add as a parting thought as we're wrapping up here, Damonte?
Man, I don't know. There's a ton. I just want to thank you guys for your time. I want to thank all my coaches and sponsors for everything that they've done. Like, I know this isn't like a thing where you'll play this out and everything, but I just want to thank anyone who's believed in me or just put any type of time into me, even if it's been just 5 minutes and you come out and you just show me one thing. Just anyone who's ever believed in me, because I feel like that helps. Like, I believe in, like, the energy that you put out in the universe for someone or towards someone. I feel like that really helps, and I just like to thank everyone who believes in me. So, and just even you guys, like, it's not. I don't know. I feel like this is just something new for me, where I'm actually able to get interviews and whatnot. So, like, I appreciate the notice. I put in the work, and it shows it's paying off.
Yeah, well, that's a nice thing to say. I mean, I appreciate you making the time, man. This is a fight that I'm definitely excited to check out, and just in speaking to you now, just compounding the excitement that much further. And people can check that out at XFC 44 going down on May the 28th. A great lightweight tilt between Tom O'Connor and Damonte Robinson. Thanks for coming on the show for the first time, man. Hoping it's the first of many, and best of luck with the remaining part of the preparations, and just have a good rest of your day too.
I hope so. Also, hope to be back on here, and we'll just get back to the preparations. And I mean, honestly, the preparations are done. It's just time to trim up and get ready for war.
Yeah, ain't nothing to it but to do it. No, I love to hear it, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the time, man. You enjoy the rest of your day.
You have a great day also.